Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of Straight Talk with Pst Vickie. And today I'm going to be looking at a very interesting topic. Mothers, this is for you. The topic is motherhood and spirituality. I know a lot of mothers have that challenge. When your children come, you have a lot of things to do. You had a lot of deadlines to meet, a lot of things to care about, which are actually good, but not so good anyway. We'll get to find out. And I'll be taking my anchor text from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. I'll read. As they went on their way, he entered into a certain village, that is Jesus. And a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. She had a sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she came up to him and said, "Lord, don't you care that my sister left me to serve alone? Ask her therefore to help me." Legitimate concern. Jesus answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is needed. Mary has chosen the good part, which will not be taken away from her." A wonderful story. That is the account of Jesus and Mary and Martha. Jesus went to a certain village and stayed in the house of Martha and Mary. Martha was distracted. She was serving. She wanted to make sure that the master was comfortable. She was busy in the kitchen serving, but while she was doing that, she expected that her sister Mary would join her in the kitchen to help to serve. But Mary sat at Jesus' feet and was listening to his word. And Martha thought, maybe let me tell Jesus, let me report my sister to Jesus. She should be helping me in the kitchen. She should know that she should be in the kitchen. But Jesus made a remarkable statement. He said, Mary has chosen the good path, which will not be taken away from her. So he referred to sitting at his feet and listening to his word as the good part, not the serving. Who was she serving? She was actually serving Jesus Christ. She wanted to make sure that he was comfortable, which was very good. But he told her she was anxious and troubled about many things. Can you relate with that story, mothers? Mothers are actually very busy. We have a lot of things to do. We have our husbands to take care of. We have our marriage to take care of. We have our children to take care of. We have ourselves to take care of. We have our jobs to take care of. And if you look at all these things, you realize that at the end of the day, you are just so busy. You're not busy doing the wrong things. You're actually busy doing the right things. But what is the good path? It is not all these things that you do. It is sitting at the master's feet and hearing his word, spending time in his presence, that the Bible referred to as the good part. Now, mothers. Motherhood is very demanding. Really, it is very demanding. I'm a mother, so I can relate, I can understand. But I did a video some time back on Facebook, and I talked about quiet time, where I recommended that, you should do a minimum of 30 minutes to 1 hour every day. But there are stages in your life as a mother that you might not have that luxury of time to spend a prolonged period of time in the presence of God. For example, after you give birth, the first 3 months of the baby's life, the baby does not know the difference between day and night. Nighttime, when you are meant to be sleeping, is when the baby is wide awake. And then the baby sleeps, wakes up 1 hour, you breastfeed another 1 hour, and all of that. You find out that you don't get to sleep at night, and during the day you just want to rest, for those that even have someone to help them. But for those that don't have anyone to help them at home, the whole cycle continues in the morning down to night, and you are tired. But I learned some things at that stage of my life. I learned that I might not have the luxury of time to spend a prolonged period of maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour in the presence of God. What I learned to do was to be conscious of the presence of God and to make sure that I charge the atmosphere around me with the presence of God. I'll be giving us tips actually on how to help us as mothers. The thing is, we can have legitimate concerns and excuses and say, I have to make my marriage work. I have to, for some people, it is marriage at last. To them, marriage is an end, it is an achievement, a destination, but marriage is actually a means to an end. You were created and chosen by God. You were given a purpose before you got married and before you gave birth. So do not allow marriage or motherhood take away your purpose. Your purpose is the reason for your being, the reason you are alive. Do not allow motherhood, the challenges of motherhood and marriage and the cares and worries and all of that to draw you away from purpose. You have a purpose. You have to sit at the master's feet. You have to invest in yourself spiritually. Be careful not to allow the blessings of God on your life draw you away from God. The Bible says that children are blessings from God. They are really good and wonderful blessings from God, but do not allow them draw you away from God. Sit at the master's feet. Papa Oyedepo will always say that the challenges of life have no timetable. So you need to be prepared at all times. You need to invest in yourself spiritually. Verse 42, Jesus said, Mary has chosen the good part, which is sitting at his feet, which will not be taken away from her. When you invest in yourself spiritually, that investment cannot be taken away from you. It's going to have a long-lasting impact in your life. Now, I'm going to be sharing some tips. I know some of us can relate with Martha. We're troubled and anxious, and we're anxious about so many things. But can you just relax and calm down? Jesus is telling you that you are troubled and anxious about many things. How to take care of your children, how to take care of your home and everything. Relax, calm down. And I've realized that when you spend time in the presence of God, God gives you the wisdom and the grace to be able to balance everything at the same time, and no part of your life will be suffering. I'm going to be giving us some tips which I have listed here on tips for mothers. Mothers, today is your day. I'm giving us some tips that really helped me. The first one is that you are not a superwoman. No matter how strong you think you are, just ask for help when you need it. When you feel that you are overwhelmed with so many things, ask for help. You can ask your husband to help you be with the children for maybe an hour or two. You want to have a me time for yourself, to relax, to refresh yourself, to spend time in the presence of God. You need that time. So you can discuss with your husband or a trusted relative that can help you for an hour or two so that you just cool off and relax. Then secondly, while you're going about your daily activities, you're cooking, you're washing clothes, you're beating the children, you can be speaking in tongues. That's one good thing and beautiful thing about praying in other tongues. You can be praying in tongues. While I was nursing my second child, I didn't have so much help around. So while breastfeeding at night, I'll be praying in tongues under my breath. Every time I wake up, I pray in tongues. When you add all those minutes cumulatively, you find out that you've been able to do at least 1 hour, in gospel. But then if you decide to say, okay, let me hold on and wait until I have 1 hour at a stretch, you might not at that stage of your life, you might not have 1 hour at a stretch. So speak in tongues while going about your daily activities. And also an important thing is you have to fill your mobile device with spirit inspired songs and messages. I cannot overemphasize that. It is very important, so that while you're going about your day, or maybe you're tired and you just want to sit down and relax, you can be playing it, you can be worshiping God, listening to songs that will stir you up spiritually, and messages, which is very, very important. Why do I like talking about building your relationship? I love talking about it because it's one thing that will help you set your life on course. When you have a strong relationship with God, you do not lack direction from God. God is able to direct you. You'll be sensitive to pick things. Even when the enemy wants to strike, you'll be sensitive enough to pick spiritual signals. That is why I cannot overemphasize building a strong relationship with God. Mothers, just try to put these tips to work rather. I would like to know how this has helped you, because it has helped me, really it has. You can still be a mother and you can still be up there spiritually. Do not allow the cares and the responsibility of motherhood draw you away from God. Do not allow it to sap your spiritual strength, because God is still your number one priority. God bless you.